Hi, Dr. Richard Busch here with the American Chiropractor magazine blog at theamericanchiropractor.com. Last week we talked a little bit about confidence and the doctor's confidence and how that can affect the patient. And I had a lot of people talk to me or ask me questions about, well, hey, you talk about confidence and it being so important for a patient and for a patient's belief in what it is that you're doing as a doctor. And it doesn't matter whether it's in a cash practice or whether it's an insurance-based practice, because that confidence that the doctor exhibits it really is instrumental in whether that patient can actually get better or not, and in whether that patient understands and believes the recommendations that the doctor tells them. But at the same time, they said, well, you talked about it, but you didn't really give us any ideas on exactly what we need to do to do that, and to develop more ideas and more confidence in not only our products and our services, but also, the PSI, our products, our services and ideas, as Dr. Jim Parker used to say. Well, obviously we need to make a plan. As far as that plan is concerned, we need to put together a clear and concise idea of exactly what it is that we want to accomplish. And as you start to develop a plan for how you're going to handle and manage patients as they come into your office, you start to develop more confidence in not only your techniques, but your abilities. Now, during the course of these blogs, in the future, I'm going to be bringing members of my staff in, and we're going to be going over some different things. In the next blog, we're going to actually start talking about patient handling and how important that new patient phone call is. I think that's one of the vital things. But we want to start talking about today even some more things about confidence and developing that confidence in yourself as a doctor and in your staff's abilities. So we've got the obvious things. We just talked about the plan. The next thing that we want to talk about is dress. I think it's vital to make sure that you're actually dressed professionally when you go to work. I am dressed exactly the way that I see patients every day. Every once in a while I may go without a tie or something like that. You got to have a little bit of a casual Thursday every now and then. But at the same time, I'm wearing a shirt and tie and obviously a neatly pressed lab coat. And the reason that we wear that is because, as far as a lab coat is concerned, for years that's been something that patients have been able to look to, and they see from a confidence level standpoint that that's what the medical community, that's what the doctor is actually going to be dressed like. So we want to be dressed like a doctor. As soon as the patient comes in and they start to feel like you're a doctor and you know and understand what it is that you're doing, then obviously they're going to feel a lot more comfortable. Along with that, going back to the plan, we want to make sure that whenever we see a new patient, we know exactly what it's going to be that we're going to be doing with that patient. We want to make sure that we have a plan of action and we're taking those steps. So we not only look professional, but we also actually look or set things up from the standpoint of the plan is going to be that this is how we're going to handle that patient all the way through. And so we start talking about different things like scripting. If you look at the NFL actually scripts out the first 25 to 50 plays, in some cases even the entire first half of a football game. Why do they do that? Well, because they have a plan when they go in, and they want to make sure that they're actually following that. Each time you see a new patient, you've got to have a plan on what it's going to be that you're going to say to that patient, and especially if you're seeing patients that all have similar problems. Because if they have similar problems, you're going to have the same types of questions that come up over and over and over again. And if you can anticipate those questions before that patient actually asks them, it's going to start to instill some confidence in those patients. They're going to start to understand and believe that you know what it is that you're actually talking about. Along with that, as you have scripted out your conversations with these patients and making sure that your case history is done exactly the same way that it's supposed to be done each and every time, you're going to script out your exams and make sure that they're done exactly the same way each time. You can do a great physical evaluation in a relatively short period of time, and that you can develop all kinds of confidence from that patient in your abilities based on how you handle yourself during that physical exam. And so if you know exactly what it is that you're actually looking for and how to deliver that physical exam properly, so that continually everything you're doing is reinforcing that patient's abilities in what it is that you do, you're going to be able to make that much more of an impression on that patient each and every time they come in. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a patient, and after I was all done with their physical exam, they said, that was the most amazing physical exam I've ever had. I had surgery twice and the doctor never actually examined me like that. And those are all things that we can actually do to make sure that we're reinstilling confidence in your abilities as a doctor, and also confidence from the patient in who it is that you are. So basically, we're doing this from both ends. You've got to develop your confidence over here, and you also have to develop the patient's confidence over here. And actually, the way that I look at it, they're both exactly the same thing. The more confidence you have in what it is that you're doing, the more confidence those patients are going to have in what you're doing to them. And you're going to have that much greater of a degree of success. This doesn't matter what kind of practice you have. You're going to be more successful if you've actually had the opportunity to develop an entire program and script it out so that you've got a plan. Along with that, you know, we not only handle the doctor's aspect in my office from the scripting standpoint, but my staff is trained in how it is that they're supposed to handle everything from that first patient phone call all the way through patient's care. When I started in practice, I called my dad and I said, hey Dad, I don't know exactly what I'm doing. What do I need to concentrate on first? And he said, you know what? One of the most important things is making sure that you gain that patient's confidence on that first phone call. If your staff knows how to handle a patient, and how to make sure that they get the right information, and how to make sure that they're controlling the conversation, the patient isn't, the actual healing process starts during the first phone call. And that's something that I recalled after my dad sent me a quick email the other day. You know, that healing process is, I can't even express how important it is, because the information that's exchanged with the patient during that first new patient phone call is so absolutely vital. It's building your reputation as a doctor. And so if they're giving the right information, if your staff is giving the right information and getting the right information in the right manner, you can actually really craft that patient's idea of what the experience is going to be like in your office. And that healing starts with that first phone call. Once they make the decision that they want to get well and they want to call your office, you can either win things or lose them with that first call. And we're going to actually talk about that next week in our next installment of the American Chiropractor blog, or video blog, I guess it is. But we're going to talk about some things with my staff members, because I think it's so vital to make sure that we give you an actual real idea and understanding of what's really going on out there. You can thrive and prosper in any economy that there is, as long as you're making sure that you have a plan and you're taking those necessary steps along the way. You know, one of the other things that we need to look at as far as making sure that you as a doctor has that confidence in your own abilities is making sure that you're following up on the different types of continuing ed seminars that you need. You know, it's very easy to become complacent once you actually get into practice and think, you know, hey, I know what it is that I need to know to survive and to thrive and to be happy and successful. But if you don't believe that you're absolutely the best doctor or the best place for those patients to actually get well and to get the care that they need, you know what? It doesn't matter. Because the patient can feel it from the time that they come into your office. That's the reason that your reputation needs to be built during that first phone call. Along with that, after the patient comes into your office, how they're handled from the first time they walk through the door is absolutely vital in making sure that that patient knows and understands that they're in the right place. Hey, I can tell you, I've been to places that the first time I walked in, I started to feel like, God, this place is a little bit weird, it's a little bit screwed up. And at the same time, I've been to places that I thought, you know, this is exactly the type of place that I want to be. You're instilling the confidence in that patient, or in your ability in that patient, based on the way that your staff handles and manages them from the time that they come in. Each and every patient that you guys see, and that I see, that you both men and women see, each and every patient is not the first patient that's come into your office. It's not the first patient that's come into my office. And the real key is making sure that you have a plan on what to do and how to do it. So it may be something that you need to sit down with your staff and discuss. This is what we're going to do. This is the order that we're going to do it in. It may be a situation where, you know, hey, you do want to look at some of the other things that are out there. There are books that have been written on patient handling and management. There are all kinds of different consulting companies that are out there. If you're not confident in your ability to put together the program that you need to contact one of those people. Make sure that you do have a plan. I think the best place to start is actually in your own office, though. And make sure that you're actually evaluating what it is that you do, what it is that you want to do. Develop your goals, develop your plans, and start looking toward those plans. You need to make sure that along with that, you're developing confidence in your abilities as a doctor. And if you feel like you have a weakness, you need to make sure that you actually address that. Get whatever kind of continuing ed that you need to make sure that you feel confident in what it is that you treat and how it is that you handle and manage patients. If you want to deal with headaches, if that's what your love in life is, that's what you need to focus on. If you want to deal with kinesiology or with different nutritional aspects, that's what you need to focus your training on and your continuing ed on. Whatever it is, you need to make sure that you are absolutely confident that you are the best place that a patient can be, and that you are really the right decision for that patient to make. As far as all of this is concerned, I really appreciate your time today. Again, I'm Dr. Richard Busch. This is my blog on the American Chiropractor Magazine's website, theamericanchiropractor.com. If you have any questions for me, please email them to info@allcashpractice.com. I certainly look forward to any other questions or comments that you may have. And along with that, please make sure you come back every week so that we can actually address some other issues. Next week, we're going to be talking about that new patient phone call and how vital it is to really gain control over the situation and make sure that the patient is developing confidence in you, the doctor, right from the first phone call. We're going to be doing that with my staff. We're also going to be, as we go through this, we're going to be showing you some different areas of my office and some different things that we do here. Again, if you have any questions, info@allcashpractice.com. I'm Dr. Richard Busch. This is the American Chiropractor Magazine's blog at theamericanchiropractor.com. Thank you very much. Have a great day.